Hello everybody, this is Joel over at ImportSauce.com, and today we are looking at Elevate's aluminum door pin lock set. Stick around, we're going to look at the construction, we're going to look at the quality of it, we're going to do some install and just some tips and tricks.
Starting off, you will probably be looking at this product over in the store. So let's take a look there. ElevateCars.com. What we're going to do is dial into our specific platform. We'll look at S40, but these door lock pin trim kits are going to be universal for the P1. I'm going to hop over to interior styling here, and there we go. And as mentioned, universal for the P1. You have the S40, the V50, the C30, the C70 listed there. Important note, these come as a pair. Includes 2 pins and 2 bushings. So if you are an S40 or a V50 and you want to do more than just the front doors or more than just the rear doors, make sure that your quantity is 2, so you get 4 of each of those things. So we don't have a picture of the stock one here in the image gallery, but we know how they look, right? Let's take a close-up. We know those are little plastic, and then these trim bezels or bushings are plastic as well. A lot of times these things pop off and disappear. This is great because we know that Volvo uses on the P1s, if you didn't have the dark wood grain finish or the Nordic oak, or later our design styles, 90% of us or so got the aluminum trim. So our dash falls are aluminum. The door handles and the bezel that goes around our window buttons, as well as maybe your shift knob, depending on the steering wheel that you have, there's going to be accent on that as well. And the key ring, just different things throughout the car. So this is a really cool upgrade because it's going to bring that same style and kind of tie everything in together there. So as we see, style and function added. Machined from aluminum. So it is going to match a lot of the other trim panels. Some of them are plastic inside the car and that comes from the factory, but a lot of the waterfalls are actually that aluminum, and same thing with the other trim panels. So this is going to match up beautifully. Let's take a look here and see. It says machine finish, but it says it could be polished. If you want to do a little polish, a little buff out on that, you'll probably get some different results. Installation says it's going to be pretty easy. Just takes a few minutes. We're going to unscrew the factory pins, pry out that tubing. We'll take a closer look at that install when we get out there, but if they're claiming it's just a few minutes, then it should only take us just a few minutes. Also says we got a video. If you want to watch that, you guys could hop over there and just watch a quick overview as well. What we'll do is we will step out to the car. We'll take a look at ours and the finish that we did. We actually did a paint match. 019 paint code, black stone, and ours are painted, color sand, and buffed, but we will show you both the as it comes from Elevate as well as what we did to ours, and then we'll take a look at the installation. So stick around here. We are now inside looking at the product. This is how it came. It comes in a bag, and then inside of that are all of the components. Each one of those is individually wrapped in separate bags, so everything shows up. It's not in there all clanking around. Just like anything else, Elevate, the packaging is on point, and just make sure that your product gets there the way that it should. Okay, so first we have the plastic factory pins and bezel, right? So if you are like me and many other people, these things are always popping off and disappearing. When we put these ones on, just like when we get extra ones of these at the junkyard, we always put just a little dab of super glue on there. Not enough that it's going to juice out, but just enough to boop, pop it and hold it into place. So you guys have all seen these. They're just, cheap little plastic guys. So here is how the Elevate ones come. We can see the side by side on the trim bezel there. Plastic versus the aluminum, same thing as we saw in the radio knob pieces, that these are extremely solid. This isn't just some cheap metal that you can, you know, kind of bend. This is a solid piece. Same thing if we look at the pin versus the factory one. Size all lines up, everything looks good there. And same thing with this. This is just a really solid, stylish piece. Again, same thing with our radio bezel trims. We went ahead and did a paint match because we are de-aluminuming everything on the interior. So we just did ours painted. It is noted that some people had asked, what about the slide tolerance on these? There's not much room, right, to have those, especially if they're popping up, popping down, popping up. So if you are going to do any kind of painting, you want to make sure that you're not caking it on. It has to be as few layers as possible. But even with a professional automotive paint and a professional automotive clear with hardener on there, we still have plenty of slide tolerance on there, and it's not going to be etching up or you know, scratching the edges there. So one thing to note is that we do have a video listed on the packaging, but we went ahead and tried one out. Obviously, that's how we got this one. One thing to note is on the trim, and we'll show you when we're installing, this can just pop off with like a flathead screwdriver, no problem. This actual pin has to be screwed off. It has little threads inside of the teeth. I mean, essentially, if you're trashing these, you could probably get away with grabbing some pliers and just kind of yanking it, but at the same time it's connected to your door lock rod and that connection inside of the door panel, so you probably just want to screw it off and not risk anything being damaged underneath. So this one screws on, but it should be noted that the new Elevate unit does not have threads. There is a plastic rubber, let's pull this out so you can see it, and you have to pull this out really before you do your install, because you're going to want to slide this guy on first, I'm guessing, onto the actual pin, this tube, and then this will slide on, and it's going to be with the door rod, locking rod, it's going to put enough you know, tension on this that it's going to lock it into place. And then last thing, same thing, we'll put a little super glue and just pop that on there. So overall, this is really nice, and we'll go out to the car and take a look at putting, we'll show you how we got the factory ones off, and then we'll show you putting our new Elevate aluminum ones on. Okay, we're outside. Here is our driver. We're just going to go ahead and look at that. Look how easy that comes off, right? Toss that aside. And that's why everyone loses these things, is because they just pop off. Okay, so doors unlocked, top position, and then the first time you just gotta kind of get a good grip and give it a turn. And we're back. It was a little tough to kind of get that one off. The back one came off okay, so we went ahead and just got some of these so that we can get this thing started. And you may have to do the same depending. There we go. Now we got enough on there. And a lot of threads, but it gets easier. There we go. Okay. And there we go. Okay. So, I'm going to overlay a picture here. You can't really see it from that angle, but let me take a picture there. Now, you can see the threads on that guy, right? So, what we're gonna do is start off with our plastic, and we're just going to, because it's plastic and the pin is metal, we can kind of just screw it, thread it down. Instead of pushing on on the guy just to get it started. And I'm wondering how far the top of the pin went down. Get that. Yeah, because that's going to leave us about yay, right? You know what, I think I was on lock earlier. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to screw it down, right? If you push on it, you're going to start messing around with the door lock rod, and those things are, the little connections on those where they connect to are really thin plastic, and you don't want to risk messing those things up. So even at that height, oh, it's not letting me lock the door because the door is open. Down, oh. And you know, on the factory ones, when it's down, it sits flush. So we got a ways to go here. Put that. And we just keep screwing. Probably speed this up so you don't have to sit here as long as we're sitting here. Okay, so we have that tubing all the way on there. I went ahead and grabbed a flathead just in case your door rod moves around. You can stick in there and kind of get it into shape. Last thing you want to do is just line it up with this, and then you can kind of slide it or push it down. And one thing that the instruction video did note as well is you can adjust the height of it. So for example, the factory ones are pretty much flush when it's locked. Locked on this is going to still have a little bit of space, but you can easily, we're only halfway down on it, just keep you know, kind of working it down on there. And then lastly, we're going to continue to work it down until we get it flush, because it's easy to look over and say, oh, I know the door's locked because the pin is flush. And then lastly, I'm just going to pop this guy on. This feels like it's a little snugger than the factory one, which is nice, because that means it's probably not going to be popping off and disappearing like the factory one always did as well. So, same thing. Go ahead and just work that down into place. And then once that is all the way flush, we will adjust our height on here to have it exactly where we want it to be once this is on. Okay, and we are back now over on the back seat, or the back door. We went ahead and got the aluminum ones on. We still are going to adjust it down, but I'll show you the lock and unlock feature now. So overall, really cool product, really versatile, really easy to get installed on there. You saw it in the black, we see it in the silver, or the just the raw aluminum finish there. So these are definitely a cool piece to pick up. ElevateCars.com.